1986, Crocodile Dundee. Now, this film had a budget which was under $10 million, and it was aimed at the American concept of what an Australian is like. Um, there are two versions of this film. There's the Australian version and an international version, which had much of the Australian slang replaced with more commonly understood terms and was slightly shorter. The film's budget was actually raised through the 10BA tax concessions, which are a government assistance to TV and cinema in Australia. John Cornell produced the film, and John and Paul Hogan co-wrote the screenplay. John Cornell was originally a news journalist covering events in Perth, and he worked as a producer for Channel 9's TV show A Current Affair. And he spotted Paul Hogan, who was a rigger at the time, on Sydney Harbour Bridge, who got on the channel's New Faces talent show. And he was offered a recurring comedy slot on the show, and he befriended the producer, John Cornell, who became Paul's manager and business partner. So they worked together very, very closely from that point on. Hogan began his own show, the Paul Hogan Show, featuring himself and Cornell and Delvine Delaney, who was a beauty pageant winner who became a TV weather presenter in Brisbane, and then in soap operas such as Young Doctors. Cornell played a character called Strop, who was, well, effectively a fairly dim and subservient surf lifesaver. Surf lifesaver in Australia wears this stripy hat, as you can see here. And that's Delvine Delaney beside. And John Cornell actually married Delvine Delaney in 1977. John was also responsible for pushing Kerry Packer into setting up the World Series cricket. Cornell owned the Beach Hotel in Byron Bay, which he sold for $65 million in 2007. Cornell now suffers from Parkinson's disease. The disease has rendered Cornell largely immobile. Cornell and Paul Hogan were investigated for alleged tax evasion by the Australian Taxation Office in 2004. They were also investigated by the Australian Crime Commission over the use of offshore accounts to bank royalties from the Crocodile Dundee films. And this was really terrible for both of them. They really did suffer, and it just wasn't... well, they were later cleared of any wrongdoing by the ACC. Cornell, when he was pushing Kerry Packer for setting up the World Series cricket, he personally got on the plane and went to see many of the cricketing personalities to talk them round to the idea. You know, very, very hands-on idea that was. 1986, Crocodile Dundee, with a particular focus on John Cornell, a very interesting character in Australian media.